All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live and recording. Today we are working on sound decision. I'm going to polish up this GUI, and then we're going to start writing some code blocks. Part 1. So I'm going to put in an opponent right here. So I'm just going to go in here and so in this opponent, hit OK. And there's Roger playing another player who really happens to be Roger Federer, just flipped around in GIMP and given a different t-shirt color. Are you guys with me on that? So in here, this is called sound decision. So you guys need to go to your media file, and you need to drag in 8 sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? I'm going to name these sound. Okay? I'm going to call this SND Edge 1. Okay? I'm going to call this SND Edge 2. I'm going to call this SND Edge 3. I'm going to call this guy SND Edge 4. Do we have an Edge 5? No. What do we have? You guys were supposed to do an engineering design paper last week. We were supposed to talk about edges. Did we talk about edges? How many edges do we have? And then you have negatives. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have 5, 6, 7, 8. We have -1, -2, -3, -4. If you guys are, once again, I'm going to say this again, every time you guys start this class, if you are programming, building a GUI, or writing code without your engineering design paper sitting in front of you, you are working harder, not smarter. Are you with me? In this class, I ask you to work smarter, not harder. Get your engineering paper out. Look at it. Look at the edges we discussed. So this guy is going to be called SND Edge -1. Okay? I just put NEG. SND Edge -2. Are you with me? Yes. Well, start building. Okay? You guys have to build. You guys have to build your GUI. This is a class where you create apps. It's called App Creators. If you don't have the GUI, you got to start building it. Okay? I'm not giving out GUIs anymore. All right? Unless you're brand new to the class today, which I will give this gentleman a GUI. Are you with me? Did we talk about RAD last week? Didn't we? Rapid Application Development. Didn't we start from the first Pac-Man app? Oh, you guys had Alice training and missed all this? And the assembly. Oh, wow. We're way behind, aren't we? All right. So sound, edge, negative. I think this is -3. Yeah. It won't allow the negative sign. That's why I don't do it. That's why I put NEG in there. It lets me represent a negative, and it allows me to do it legally. Am I missing a sound? So I can put here sound, rename, SND, edge, -4. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Guys, what are we doing? Guys, let me make this extremely clear. Extremely as clear as I can make it. If you want to sit here and play video games on a computer, this is not the class for you. Am I clear? If you want to sit here and play video games and not create a video game, this is not the class for you. Um, all right, we're back. So do you guys see how I used a system for naming my sounds? Do you guys see how I did that? SND edge 1, SND edge 2, edge 3, edge 4, SND edge NEG -1, NEG 2, NEG 3, NEG 4. Are you with me? Why can I? Who found out in here? Why can I not use the negative sign? It won't allow it. So, you could use an underscore, but to me, an underscore doesn't look like a -1. So I didn't use the underscore. I typed out NEG. Okay. You need a canvas. Everything you need is right up here on that board. Brad, everything you need is on that board. Do you have it? You're looking at that board over there. All right, so I think I'm pretty good here. Who needs this GUI? I'll start passing this around. And tomorrow maybe we get into doing some code. Because we've had a lot of assemblies in here, a lot of everything, right? We've been hit by life and assemblies and speakers and yeah. So I'll show you how easy this is. All you do is go to Projects, Export to my computer. There it is, Sound Decision, Show in Folder. All right, so I've given out the USBs. We've discussed RAD, Rapid Application Development. What does it do for your life? Makes things easier so you don't have to start over and over and over again every time. Okay, now watch this. I will say this about RAD. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm going to go into blocks right now. Do you guys remember all the blocks we had? How many do we have? 344. Watch this. Delete. It's going to hurt. I know it kind of like makes my heart palpitate a little bit. I'm going to hit OK. Shotgun fire. I know. Only if you are on Sound Decision. Should I do that if I was on Pac-Man? No. You better be sure. You better be 110% sure that you're on the right app. Are you with me? Save empty screen. Okay, why do I do that? Can I have everyone's attention? Why do I do that? Number one, because I can. Number two, it's kind of like doing like, I don't know if you guys have ever worked on electric before, but when you have electric running through your own home and you try to start modifying electric, it can get crazy. and you can mess up some of your electrical circuits. Some of your code may not run right. So as much as I love ratting, it's almost easier to start from scratch from code. All right, and that's what we're going to do. Why? Because you guys need practice at coding anyway, okay? So here we go. Screen 1. We're going to initialize this game. We're going to start the game. Okay, let me go back and look at my GUI. Okay, yeah. So we need this timer to run, right? So screen 1 is going to start our game. So I'm going to create a procedure over here called start_reset game. Okay? Over here, I'm going to drag this out here. When I start this app, it's going to start and reset my game. Okay? So we need our game time to start. So I need this clock game time. I need it to be enabled to true. By the way, have I showed you guys this, that you can click on the white space and type out true, and that true block will pop up? Just hit enter. That true block pops up. Okay? So that turns my clock on. So now you go back into game time, and you have this timer event where the time should tick away. Are you with me? So now you need a variable. Go to your variables box and initialize a global variable, and let's take its name and call it game time. And game time is going to start out at what? 60 seconds. And then what should happen to my game time during the game? Starts out at 60. What should happen? 59, 58, 57. It should count off backwards, right? So now you're going to go into your game time, and you're going to say, okay, I want to set my variable game time and do math with it. And this should be game time minus 1. And I have a label, so I have to show it in my label. So my label is going to go get a text box, go get a join, go get a text box, and in here I'm going to say this is time, :space, and inside of here I'm going to put in this game time. So I'm going to constantly show it. So let's just go see if that's going to work. Let's see if it's the right speed. Let's see if it's going 59, 58, 57. Let's go see what this is doing. This is how you program. One step at a time. One piece of the puzzle. Put it in. What are we doing? Is it working? Yeah. Okay. All right, so we can set all that if we want. The guy on the right disappears. Okay. So maybe what you want to do is start out setting them what coordinate points you want them to start at. So in here, I can go click on Roger Federer. And Roger Federer is at X450, Y16. So you can go back in your blocks and you can go in and set. Where's Roger Federer at? There he is. So you go and set. So I just duplicate this. I'm going to set, in my start command, I'm going to set where Roger should start at, and then I'm going to go to his opponent. There's his opponent's X and Y. And you guys can put in here where you want them to start at. So do we want them both starting at 0, 0? No. This is where you got to analyze your game. You got to figure out, your game board. I want Roger in red starting out at 450, 16. So Roger in red is going to start out at 450, 16. And you go over here to Roger in this teal green, whatever that is, fuchsia, not fuchsia, but aqua. Aqua's going to start out at 2016. So you go over here and you say, I want you to start out at 20. Can we, as the developer, control everything in the game? Yeah, we can. Okay, Brad, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Huh? Why do you have like 450 blocks of code? Weren't we supposed to delete all that and start over? Yeah. Okay. Supposed to delete that. Delete the whole electrical circuit. Why do we do that? That feels weird, right? I just deleted 300. It feels weird, I know. Why do we do that? So we can start over and start learning how to do code. All right, what should happen? Should my clock run forever? No. So we got to do an if statement here. If, control if, everybody go to your control block, get an if statement. And I want to go get an equal sign and say if my variable if this game time can equal 0, what should happen to my clock? Okay. The clock should stop. So this is not should equal true. What should equal? False. Turn the clock off. And then if I want, I can go down here to my text-to-speech, and text-to-speech can come on here and say, what's she going to say when the clock hits 0? Just say game over. Okay? Game over. Okay? Game over. So let's see if this is going to work. Should we go and run our okay? There's Roger. It's going down to 48, 47. Make sure your volume is up. So she said game over at the end. We got to 0 and the clock stopped. Okay? So, what should happen when we hit reset? So let's go to BTN reset. Click. All right. So inside of start reset game, I'm going to go ahead and set okay, I'm going to go ahead and set my game time to be what? It should go back to 60. And by the way, I should take this right here and duplicate this game time, and that should reset it. So that's going to display at 60. And now over here, when I hit my button, it should go back and reset this. Okay? So how many blocks of code do we have? 40. Okay. I got 40 blocks of code. And it took me what? How much time did it take me to do that? We have 8 minutes. So, okay. All right, so the next thing I want to happen is I want this ball to start moving around the screen and bouncing off edges, right? So when you start the game, should the ball start? Yeah. So do you guys see why I put this purple block in here? I can just keep adding to this. So I'm going to go down to my image sprite tennis ball. And I want to go ahead and set its heading. I'm going to set its speed. And I'm going to set its time interval. There should be one called interval. To understand speed, okay, well, let's just start with heading, okay? Heading is going to do a random direction. So let's go in here and talk about heading for a second, okay? All right, so if I go in here, by the way, you guys should all take out your engineering design paper. You should draw this down, slow down to speed up. Okay. We're going to say this star is bouncing around the page. You guys don't need new engineering design papers. Hello? 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 Guys, you don't need new engineering design papers. You guys should be taking out your engineering design paper that you did. Hello? Did you guys do an engineering design paper, let's see, last Thursday, Friday? Okay. Kylie has one. Okay. By the way, guys, I'm going to go over this every time we code. Eyes up here, please. Every time you code, you need to be sitting with your best friend, and that's your engineering design paper. You should be writing notes, thoughts, ideas, okay? Right now, this is the XY coordinate point of your ball. It is the top left corner. It has a heading. Okay? This heading starts out by default at 0 degrees. Didn't we go over this with Pac-Man? Okay. And then it has a heading of north 90 degrees, and then it has a heading of east is 180 degrees. All right, and then it has a south of 270 degrees. Are you guys with me on that? So now I can go back into my code. I want this heading to go from 0 to 359 degrees. The one after that is not 360. We go back to 0. All right. Then I'm going to give it a speed. The speed is how many pixels you want it to move. And I can take this random again and randomize the speed. And I can say, okay, I want you to go from 10, somewhere between 10 and 25 pixels per tick of time. Okay? What's the tick of time? Do you guys remember that we talked about time is measured in milliseconds? I have it written down on the board over there. 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. 500 milliseconds is a half a second. 333 is 1/3 of a second. 250 is 1/4 of a second. So I'm going to make this like 100 milliseconds. That's going to fire, okay, 10 times per second. And then what do we want to do here? Let's go ahead and see if the ball starts to move. And then tomorrow we'll make it bounce. Anybody get this to work? Get stuck in a corner. Why? We didn't make it bounce off an edge, so that's what we got to do tomorrow. Okay? Good job today. New students, I need to see you up at my desk. Come on up. And keep calm and code on.